Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome into Hump Day Live. It is Wednesday, the 24th of July, and we are halfway through the week. We made it. We've made it this far. We've made it this far. We're going to be talking about Madeline. About Madalena Kojikari. I about called her a whole different other case's name because the names are so close in the beginning. Madalena. We're going to talk about Madeline Soto tonight. But both of them ladies are always on my mind. Those poor girls. But let me go back up to the top here. I saw that Mary Beth gifted out some memberships already. I was like, wow, look at that. Cheryl's here. Catherine's here. Stephanie's here. I saw we had some people in the chat. Aldo, it's good to see you, Aldo. Where you been? Feeling better? I think you actually wrote on my comment on one of my posts. Welcome in. Hey, Cat's Life. Hey, Ladybug. Hey, Bartman. Welcome in, everybody. Hey, Jean. Lenora. It's good to see everybody. And I'd be on camera tonight, but I'm looking crazy. So I'm just going to leave it off. Hey, Sunshine. Not looking too crazy, but I just was really cold earlier. So I'm like all bundled up. You can come in, ma'am. Come on in. Sorry, the dog in the background there. Of course. Vincent isn't here. So she wants to come in, but she doesn't want to come in at the same time. There's a bed for you, Araya. If I tell her that, she'll usually come. Hey, Ashley, welcome in. Hey, Queen Olive. Hey, Aries Bjork. Yeah, and sorry about the little dog clicking, the click and clacking of the dog claws. Hey, CJK. I always feel like hers clicked and clacked pretty good. Hey, Shauna, welcome in. West Virginia Holler Girl. Okay, I'm saying hi to everybody. I feel like I'm going to be here all night if I do that. We will be here all night if I say hi to everybody. Because I always think that I always forget who I say hi to because we see each other every night. Like it'll be funny. Like if I say hi, it happens, I swear, with Lenora or Ladybug. I think it's because the names, Lenora, Ladybug. But I swear I'll say hi to one of you ladies and then I'll say, did I say hi to Lenora or did I say hi to Ladybug? And then I'll say hi to you guys again. And Ladybug says she can't count tonight. Hey, Austin, welcome in. And thank you so much, Mary Beth, for gifting out memberships. That's so incredibly kind. It really helps the channel. It really, 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 really does. I don't understand the timeline we live in. Me either, Aries. Me either. I was actually going through Stephan Sterns' paperwork today, and wow, the 896, documents that 896 pages of documents have come out. I've just been like reading over them like when I have time. And yeah, there's a lot to them. So if you guys are interested, we can definitely do a deep dive into these as well. Because this little girl was tortured. Yeah, she hey, Aries, I don't know. Well, I kind of heard what she did, but she owes me a candle. I never got to say that. I never ended up saying it. She used a video of mine when I first started as a content creator on the platform. And she's like, another creator said, that wasn't nice of you to do that. And I didn't know what my head from my butt was back then, so I didn't say anything, but someone else did. And she said, well, I'll just send her a candle. Well, I'm still waiting on it. But I don't need it. I'm just kidding. I heard that those things catch fire. I mean, obviously they catch fire because they're candles, but you know what I mean? I hear that they explode. So I'm good on that. But I did hear. And it's people go in real life, and that's what people do. She's another character in the characters on YouTube. She's a creator. I don't know what sector she's in per se. I would say trauma. But it was also funny today. I was in Granny's live and I'm just in there minding my own beeswax. And someone said something about, well, they were talking about true crime. And they're like, well, why does true crime act like this right now? And Granny had to tell her, hey, as much as I want to say I'm true crime, I'm trauma. This is trauma. You're in the trauma spectrum. And I'm in the chat going, I'm true crime. I'm still true crime over here. I think we are anyway. At this point, I don't. We're gonna have our own little name. Are you making fun of me? What do I do about 8:35? Okay, so I think it's the reason why I do 35 after. I don't know why I do that because I'm never here 35 after. But I used to do like 9:30, and then you started giving myself 5 more minutes. And when you give yourself a little, you'll take a lot. No, you're not really supposed to, but that's me. I'm Every time I go to sit down and start my live, everything happens with life. I swear that's what happens. Hmm. Okay, Aries. Well, you can come on over because that's where I'm at in the morning time, Aries. So if you ever wondered, where's Tanya in the morning? That's usually where I'm at. I'm hiding out over there. Even if I'm not chatting in the chat box, I'm usually listening in. I like to listen into grannies in the morning. She's quick-witted and she's pretty funny. So can't help that, yeah. So we'll go ahead. We'll get into tonight's live. It's not going to be a real long one. I was just going to play this Nancy Grace for us because it came out, and I was like, "Ooh, I want to watch this. So why not watch it with my subscribers before it hits YouTube?" So as you guys know, Nancy does a podcast, and then she'll put it out on video. Sometimes she'll put it out on video a couple days after. I'm sure with this case, she'll bring it out on video afterwards. So if you guys want to check it out again on video, you can, but I do have some overlays I can put up for pictures. That way you have something to look at as we're watching and listening to the podcast. Otto, email me again, maybe, because I don't know if I wait. You, Otto, I might have yours. There's someone in the chat I feel like I don't have, and I should have theirs. I thought it was you, Otto. Maybe let me double check. Hey, Donnie. Yeah, I'll double check whenever we're watching the podcast because I remember like I was trying to get a hold of someone and I couldn't. And I was like, how am I not being able to get a hold of them? That was the joke was the Mets are winning. That's funny. I used to be the biggest Yankees fan. I actually went and saw them play in Yankee Stadium back in 2000, the year 2000. It was the year before everything happened in New York for the 9/11 terrorist attacks. And I remember in the video, I'm taking a video of us driving, down in, New York, and you can see like the skyscraper pretty much of New York. And I'm asking, what are those two tall buildings? And the next year, then to find out they were the Twin Towers that fell. It was very, very, very eerie. Very eerie. So I don't know if you guys have had a chance to go over any of the emails that have come out pertaining to our dude over here, Stephan Sterns, but the documents are disturbing, to say the least. Now, there are some emails between his mother and him, and she's stating things like, well, you're in jail, and she's not in jail, like insinuating that Jen Soto has more to do with this than maybe investigators are, letting on. I personally think any mother with a kid that like Stephan would probably try to blame it on the girlfriend or the significant other and say, well, it was her, it's her fault, it's her kid. One of those type of deals, one of those type of moms. Not my kid does no wrong. Yeah, I could just see it being like that. There we go. I was trying to adjust my seat. Sorry about that. I couldn't get that adjusted. And welcome in, everybody. Hey, Mr. Rosebud. Yeah, Stern's mom's full of shit. I'm not buying it. DM said, yeah, I'm not buying it either. Now, do I think that Jen Soto knew more than what she let on? Maybe not directly, but indirectly. I believe she had to have had the thoughts in her head. She had to have had the thoughts of, I mean, if you're pushing your dog, she would have them sleep together in the same bed. And I read this in the court documents so that she could get some sleep before work. Why in the hell does Madeline not have her own bedroom? And if she does, which she should, Why would Stearns be even allowed in her bedroom? I want my sleep tonight. You go sleep on the couch. How about that? Or go get an apartment and you can go live, you know what I mean? You can go stay at your own apartment. It's just, I don't get it. I feel like that she had to have known something about something, even if it wasn't directly, even if it was just in her heart and in her mind. And that should have right then and there, I mean, put a stop to it. Over 1,400 pictures he has. I mean, that takes time to take 1,400 pictures. They were together for 7 years, and Maddie just turned 13. So, I mean, it's bad. I know, email it. I know, right? Squeaky wheel. Emails, internet. There, yep. Nope, you didn't get any of that. I know that there was some girls that were like in the girls because I've never been ever to like a men's, area before, but I've been inside of a women's before, and they have like these little kiosks, and these girls would somehow they learned. I don't know how they did this. Now this is some serious stuff. If you could learn how to do this, it would probably, I guess, benefit you in jail. But they would figure out, like, on those kiosks where you can order your commissary, they would type in messages to each other. Now, I don't know how they were being sent through the jail or anything, but I know that they were using those kiosks to send like messages to each other. Very, very, very weird. Now you have an iPad. You have an iPad. Like an iPad in the jail now. Now I understand, okay, maybe they have the internet so that people can look up their court cases and they're saving paperwork that way. Like, they don't have to print everything out. Maybe. Like Brian Kohlberger, he has access to a computer, but it doesn't have anything other than it just lets him put in his little CD-ROM or whatever it's called. That's not what they're called anymore. I'm so old. Jump drive, whatever it is. And then, it like lets him load his documents and he can see his documents and then that's it. He can't get on like the internet and do those type of like things. Um, but it's worrisome. It's still worrisome because these people that are behind bars, they're criminals. So they can figure out all these things. I wouldn't be surprised if a criminal hasn't figured out how to use one of those iPads to somehow communicate with the outside world free and not be charged somehow for it. Like, you know what I mean? Like somehow they can hack into that little gadget or something. What's a spa? Maybe wizard. If they're gonna if they put spas in jail, then we're all going in. We're all going in. Hey Roro. Hey Roxy lady. Hey Reba. So yeah, I'm thinking that her family might have been living with her. Okay. Who are you talking about, Ashley? I'm just reading the chat. The inmates have tablets. Oh my gosh. So you own the 60 days in? I've never seen it before. I've heard of the show, but I've never seen it. So they just give I just I can't comprehend it. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that there's iPads inside of jails. Maybe call me old fashioned, but I just remember the days that you just screamed up the pipes at each other, just yelling the pipes and maybe like cling on the pipes a little bit with your knuckles, like, Morse code or something. I think she had a roommate and their child from work or something. Okay, Stephanie, maybe that's what it was. Because I know that there was other people, I believe, living there. I thought maybe it was her family or something of that nature. Because remember, there's 4 bedrooms. Now that I just thought about that. Yeah, they have. When's his next hearing? We went over it on the last live. Hey, y'all, stop making your paws all up. They're being loud. Um, so it says that October. Oh, they pushed it back. So they pushed it to October 14th. Yeah. Let me double check. I'm assuming it'll be like at 8 a.m. But it just says that he's going. Okay. His trial on the remaining 60 charges is currently set to begin August 19th. But the first degree M was pushed to October 14th. And then he'll just be back. I mean, he'll just be back in court, and he'll just get convicted of the other counts. So he's going to get the 60 counts. They're going to charge him with all of the essay crimes, all of the pictures, all of the digital. Oh, he's going to be living decades, century. I mean, you might as well just the century. He's probably going to have 100 years over his life or over his head. I mean, they will get you on them kids charges, and thank God they do. And they will tack them on too. So if you have, 1,400 pictures, they'll times it by 1,400. Like they don't mess around. They don't mess around. No, okay. So Ida, you might be on the second one. If I see Ida though, but I think I would see you on both sides. Do you see Ida over here, guys? I think you're on the second channel, Ida. I just have my second channel going that way. I can get up my watch time hours, y'all. Do you know one of my videos did better over there than over here? Like, by a lot, by like thousands. I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's okay, guys. I'm not mad at y'all. I'm not mad at y'all. I don't even remember which video it was, but it was entertaining because I was like, oh my gosh, this one's actually doing better than the one on my main channel. So basically, I was going to go over this article with you guys, and then we'll get right into Nancy. But it's going to go over the emails. Now, these were before the emails were released to through a FOIA. I do have all 896 document pages now, but I figured this would just be easier to read just the article, and then we'll go in and we'll listen to Nancy Grace because it's brand new. It just came out today, so I'm sure she's on one. I'm sure she's ready to tear Stephan Sterns a new one. So Osceola County, Florida. Do we have anybody that lives near there? Near where this is going on? Is anyone going to the court proceedings? New documents obtained by Fox 35 in the Madeline Soto homicide case reveal that the family of murder suspect Stephan Sterns believes others were involved in the teen's disappearance and death. And the family member is the mom. Of course, she does, The 64-page file from the state attorney's office includes dozens of emails sent to and from Sterns, who is currently in custody at the Osceola County Jail on charges of first-degree MS battery, the M word, and possession of child SA material. I'm trying a little bit with the language a little bit. The jailhouse communications between May 29th and July 1st include messages from a man named Chris Sterns, who appears to be the suspect's brother, based on the way he referenced their mom and dad. The two discussed the family's new puppies, what books Sterns would like to deliver to him in jail via Amazon. Amazon is not going to jails. Tell me, y'all, Amazon is not going into jails. Oh my God, is it? Can you order off of Amazon in jail? Or is he just telling them, hey, get these books off Amazon and bring them to the jail? Because it says what books Sterns would like to deliver to him in jail. I guess probably just probably wants his mommy to order for him. And the conditions he says is facing while incarcerated. Yeah, they don't have very many good books there to read because, it's a jail and they just don't. Now they can order books. They can order from Amazon? Because if you can order off of Amazon, well then, I mean, is this even jail? Like, I'm really concerned right now. The origami. Oh, they said, oh my Lord. Maybe we should write Stephan Sterns and tell him what we think of him. Actually, maybe we should write him and be nice for a minute, and then if he writes us back, then give it to him. He needs a coloring book. He does. He shouldn't get anything. He should get a dictionary to read. Or how about some books on how to become how about some books on how not to essay children? He's going to be, I mean, look at this. This is like, I can't wait to see this guy in prison. I can't wait to hear a few months after he's in prison how things are going for him, because he already thinks life is tough in jail. He already thinks it's tough. This ain't nothing. The mat is flat and has very little cushion left. The cell is small, filthy, and some spots on the wall that appear to be bloody fingerprints, Sterns wrote. All I hear out of that is, I'm still alive, Maddie's not, and I'm a piece of shit. That's all I hear out of that. That's all I got out of that sentence. Sterns' mother, who authored a few emails from Chris's account, in an email dated June 25th, she points to someone also allegedly linked to the case. We all know Redacted was heavily involved in this, and I'm just disgusted that she is free and you are not, when it's not all your fault, the email said. Okay. No, it is all your fault, Stephan Sterns. I don't care if Jen Soto put you in the bedroom with her daughter in the bed and specifically told you exactly what to do. You're your whole own person. And for your mother to say, well, this isn't all on you. What kind of mother is that? Like, seriously, what kind of mother is that? You gotta lay down, girlfriend. I'm gonna kick you out. Sorry about that. Karma Sterns, yeah. He's a POS. There's not much worse. There's not. Actually, there's not. There's not. There's nothing more that could have been done to make this any worse. I mean, her mother failed her. Her whole family failed her. Her school system failed her. Her mother's boyfriend failed her. I mean, her whole family failed her. I mean, I know her dad really, really loves his daughter, and he said he didn't pick up on anything, but it's like someone had to pick up on something somewhere. I mean, we can't just say this all the time. Well, I didn't see anything. Well, no, we all can't. We're not stupid. We're not. If you have a little girl that's 6 or 7 years old, and she goes in a room with your boyfriend and comes out acting like a whole ass new person, I think you need to get her checked out and evaluated. And you know that's what would have happened too. She would have came out a whole different person. I mean, think about it think about it, and I hate to have to put it like this, but think about it when you lost your virginity and you were an adult or a late teen. Like how different you were afterwards. We're all adults here, we're all adults. You're just a different person. Imagine being a child then. Oh my Lord. I couldn't even. I thought it's just, oh, man, it's terrible. Stearns did not acknowledge his mother's allegations in his email reply. Well, I guess that's the smartest thing he's actually done. To be clear, Sterns is the only person who has been arrested and charged related to Madeline's disappearance and death. Prosecutors and investigators said the case remains open and ongoing, and also alluded to the possibility of uncovered evidence leading to additional charges at a previous press conference. Everyone that was close to Madeline is considered suspect until we have proven otherwise, Kissimmee Police Chief Betty Holland said in March. Now, I don't know, almost 5 months. Do you think they would still? I mean, they could always still, of course, press charges and bring charges on, but I wonder if they were going to, if they would have by now. Homicide Unit Chief Will J continued this narrative about others possibly involved in the case at a press conference in April. This is not over, he said. There is an ongoing investigation to uncover more evidence. The state's attorney's office said in early June that they intend to seek the death penalty against Stearns. This stuff is serious and you need to approach it as life and death, which is it? Stearns' mother said in an after-mentioned email. This, honey, this stuff is serious. Okay, his mom's not all the way there, is she? The 38-year-old has been in custody since February 28th, 2 days after his girlfriend's teenage daughter was first reported missing when she didn't make it to school. During the search for Madeline, who investigators said was likely already dead before the weeks-long search began, Stearns voluntarily handed his cell phone over to law enforcement, which yielded the discovery of graphic photos and videos that authorities said were of the missing teen. Madeline's body was found in Royal Osceola County on March 1st. And I was reading in the documents today because I really wanted to know how they knew she was. They were so confident that she was dead when she was in the car, when they were in the parking complex. She was hunched over, and I can't remember if they said her eyes were open, but they did say her mouth was hanging open. And to me, that I just thought of I just pictured her being in an unnatural type of state, and that's how they knew. Hey, Heather, welcome in. Hey, Julian, welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. If I didn't see you guys sliding in there, I was on the other page. Just the mental abuse alone. I mean, now, right? Jen is guilty. Yep, if not more. I mean, that's her daughter. Now, I know my mom would have known right away. My mom would have known right away. Right away. But, I mean, maybe that's because I had such a great relationship with her, but, I mean, she would have just there would have been no way I would have been able to hide this, something like, you know what I mean? Something like that. But maybe Madeline, I don't know, maybe she was I'm sure she was afraid to say anything. I don't know if he had something over her head, if he was saying, "I'll leave your mom and your mom will hate you if, if you tell on me." And I mean, I don't know. I think that he groomed her from when she was such a young age that she didn't know what she wanted to do by the age of 13, but she knew enough to where she wanted to run out in the middle of the woods and live in the woods. When she turned 13, she said, "I'm going to go and live in the woods." And nobody thought that was strange. Thank you for becoming a member, Julian. Thank you. I appreciate that. Welcome. Welcome in. See, I don't think she didn't tell anybody, DM. I think she was scared. Oh, Heather Brad, I can totally understand. I don't think I would be able to cover these cases if I had kids right at this point, because I get so mad. Not having a child, I can only imagine if I would have a child and then be going over these cases. That's like a whole different fire. You know what I mean? Like, I already got fire. I would probably blow up the whole apartment. My whole apartment would probably blow up. I would combust. I wouldn't be able to do life. And then, you have all different kinds of parents that come out in these cases too. You've got Jen Soto here. Not looking too hot for her. But then you've got, Brandy Neal, Michael's mom, Michael Monkey Vaughn's mom, and, everyone, we just love her to pieces. Like, we know that she didn't do anything to her little boy. Don't even need to ask me twice. It's just, I don't know. It's crazy how things work, and how people are, and how people are not in trouble for any of this stuff. It seems like. So this is an email from the one with Stephan Sterns, his mother, and it's on his brother's Chris Stearns jail communication. So let's see what Mommy Dearest had to say. 30. His mom's, I mean, he's only 38. And I think did he just turn 38? I didn't know he was my age. I thought he was a year younger than me. So I thought he was like a little bit younger. But he looks a lot older than me. Ain't gonna lie about that. You don't see the commissary and cannot order anything. I hope that gets resolved quickly. I don't know when these were I don't know when these were written, but if this was one of his first communications to his mommy, it could have been his day not to order on commissary. They have commissary days. But it says, I hope that gets resolved quickly. Do you remember your balance? Jail and prison are not meant to be comfortable. All part of the mental punishment, I guess. Stay positive. Talk with your attorneys. I keep thinking about how you would not ever rat out a friend. It really made me mad, and I felt like you valued them over us when you let them get away with stuff. Don't be doing that again. Like, what? We all know redacted Jen was heavily involved in this, and I am disgusted that she is free and you are not when this is not all your fault. Can you imagine being that parent? Not my kid, not my baby, not my sunshine. You know what I mean? It's not all your fault. Like, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's all his fault. I mean, Jen Soto brought him in. I mean, she did. She brought him into the house, but it's his fault. Um, I used to have a friend that had a mom like that. This girl could do no wrong. You need to think about yourself, and nothing like perverted or nothing, but this girl could just do no wrong. You need to think about yourself more and her less. She sure isn't thinking of you and how she can help you right now. That whole family is willing to stay quiet and let you take the fall for everything. I've been wondering where she's been. I'm about to shut these dogs out. Get in the chair. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to grab the other dog bed real quick so they'll stop prancing around. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I got one laying down in the bed. I got two beds. Well, I got one in one, so. Now that's the bed the other one wants. Oh, my lordy. Okay, Mother Teresa. Ooh, I had to like breathe kind of fast there because I was trying to shuffle my foot out there with me. Lay down, Mia. Okay, so please get. I don't know. Let's see where we were. That whole family is willing to stay quiet and let you take the fall for everything. When you do that, you are hurting us too. Please get out of your head over this and start talking with your attorneys. This stuff is serious and you need to approach it as life and death, which it is. I think all the craziness redacted lived through with redacted various partners, not a stable life at all for a child. I do pray for redacted and for you daily. I am thrilled that you are working out again and have a physical outlet for the stress. Well, that's all you can do in jail, you know. I hope you get, you know what we're going to hear next? He found Jesus. You already know what's happening. That's going to be next. He's going to have his come to Jesus moment, because they all do in jail. Because people say the good Lord works in jails. No, the good Lord tries to, but them, don't get it twisted. Them jailers, they want to get out for that extra hour of rec time that you get per week. Okay, I think she's going to lay down. I am thrilled. Sorry. Where are we at again? Not a stable life at all for a child. I do pray for redacted and for you daily. I am thrilled that you're working out again and have a physical outlet for the stress. I hope you get your coffee and candy straightened out quickly. Oh, we would hate for him to not have his candy and his coffee. Are you kidding? Candy and coffee is what you're freaking worried about. You know what I'd be worried about if I was in jail? Socks, t-shirts, stuff to keep me warm, I mean, if you could buy some brass knuckles, take up for yourself, you probably should get them, but you can't get them on commissary, so. Oh yeah, you know it, Otto. Because he will have it. Because they all want that extra hour of rec, and that's really what it is. So far, I haven't seen a cancellation on Congo. Let us know as stuff filters down to you through the system. This origami book is just paperback, no paper, just patterns. If I read it right. Well, they'll give you plenty of paper. Well, I'm off to feed the curly ones now. Who's the curly ones? Are those like pigs? Because curly tails, I don't know. Love, hugs, and prayers now and every day and night, Mom. Man. Could you imagine being the mom of Stephan Sterns? Ugh. That's just, ugh, yeah. Oh, there was actually something else that came out. So, yeah, let's see what that was. Remember when the police, the investigators, they put Maddie's crime scene photo on the Instagram page, on their police Instagram page? Well, let's see what there's stuff going on with that. It says, here's his response. I can't see. He's accused of making conflicting statements. Is this it? Oh, he's been given a citation. They're going to tell us the citation. Oh, my Lord.
Six has uncovered court records showing the sheriff of Osceola County, Marcos Lopez, has been given a citation for posting a photo that showed the remains of Madeline Soto. 13-year-old Madeline was found dead near St. Cloud in March, days after she never showed up to school. The boyfriend of her mother was eventually charged with sexually molesting and killing her. The sheriff's office says a crime scene photo was accidentally posted to the agency's social media page. Now the state attorney's office is officially citing the Sheriff Marcos Lopez, with a non-criminal infraction that carries a fine up to $500. We've asked the sheriff for a comment on this, but have not heard back yet.
Major developments.
$500. Well, they should charge him. They should fine him the $500 for sure. They should definitely do that for sure. That was inexcusable. There's multiple things to do when you're, putting in a picture. And I mean, things happen. I guess they do, but this shouldn't have happened because these pictures were in like a personal cell phone. These pictures should have been the pictures he was posting were about like an event that they were going to have. These should not have been in the same folder, let alone the same camera. The camera, the folder, none of it should have been the same. This should have, I don't even know how it would have even been on the same. Crazy. Well, welcome in, Miss. Is it Miss It's Blue? I know I'm getting that one wrong. Oh, but I love it when you guys spell them out for me because you guys will do that. And I'm one of them people. I'm like, I like it. Mary Beth said, I don't think I belong on her sometimes. Is that like in serious? Or do you mean serious? I thought you meant like you don't be like because you feel like an alien. No, you do belong here. I thought you meant because you felt like an alien. Because I was like, I do too. I feel like an alien on this earth. I really do. Because people be crazy. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get into the podcast here. And I'm gonna read what she's kind of gonna I'm going to read what she's gonna go over in this episode. And I do have pictures that I'm gonna overlay over top. I've got a couple of like Maddie and of one of her mom and a couple of Stephan, just to kind of overlay. But it says here, as accused killer Stephan Sterns adjusts to life in a jail cell. I cannot wait for Nancy to go over all this. He complains to his brother via email about everything from the size of his cell, the noise, filth, and eating utensils. You only get one eating utensil. Sterns complained his bed mat is flat with very little cushion left. His cell is small and filthy, and he claims there are spots on the wall that appear to be bloody fingerprints. It is emails from Sterns' mother that contain shocking information as she's encouraging him to tell the truth. Sterns' mother believes other people are involved in the murder of Maddie, and she tells her son to stop protecting those people. Knowing the emails are not private and protected, Sterns' mother alludes to a woman being involved in the case, saying she is, quote, disgusted that she is free and you are not when it's not all your fault. Some of the emails between Stephan Sterns and his mother seem a bit heavy-handed, trying to make it seem as though Sterns is a stand-up guy, possibly to try and keep her son as he prepares to spend the rest of his life behind bars. Stern mother says, I keep thinking about how you would never rat out a friend. And later adds, it really made me mad, and I felt like you valued them over us when you let them get away with stuff. Don't be doing that again. Stern's mother says things like, we all know Redacted was heavily involved in this, and I am disgusted that she is free and you are not. When this was not all your fault, you need to think about yourself more and her less. She sure isn't thinking of you and how she can help you right now. The whole family is willing to stay quiet and let you take the fall for everything. Pretty much is what I read you a minute ago. And I have to fast forward it through the commercials here. It might be a little loud on your ears.
Yes, to some.
1,700 images. Yeah.
And get cash back on many.
What if I told you
Anywhere, anytime.
I mean, what do you guys wish for your 13th birthday? I wonder what I wanted. I bet you I wanted maybe like a camera, or like clothes would be a big one. But it wouldn't be to go and move out into the woods. Like, that wouldn't be my birthday wish. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just really sad. You wanted a boyfriend. Jean said I wanted a boyfriend. That's funny, Jean. I wanted a boyfriend. I'm trying to think of what I wanted. It was probably something like, I don't know. Maybe a bike or something like that. Yeah. You just, what I mean? Like, it's just like 13, when you turn 13, that's such a big birthday. And like, she deserved to have been able to celebrate her birthday and not have to be worried about what was going to happen later on.
Pure horror.
Ooh.
Madeline Soto, just 13 years old.
Okay, you guys, those are some good Jordache jeans. I wanted a charm holder necklace. I like that. Wanted a 10-speed bike. I like Solo's like, I wanted those Jordache jeans. I still do. I think I had a pair of Jordache. I might have had a pair of those.
Slept in the bed with mommy's live-in the night before her murder. This as disturbing details emerge about the crime scene. And well, that's not all. Shocking prison emails go back and forth between the suspect, mommy's live-in lover, and they seemingly blow this case wide open. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us.
Madeline is 13 years old. She has been missing since 8:30 on Monday morning when mom's boyfriend dropped her off near Hunters Creek Middle School. He dropped her off actually near the Peace United Methodist Church on Town Boulevard.
Okay. All right. So she was supposed to be dropped off at school, didn't make it to school.
Didn't make it to school. I went to pick her up from school today, and she never came out. They announced it over the speaker, and I'm just like, maybe she walked here, because sometimes she'll walk here to this office. I came here, nothing. I went back to the school, they were closed. I got a notice, an email from the school saying she was absent, but I also messaged her teacher, and he looked at her entire attendance today and saw that she was completely not at school today either.
Okay.
So she never made it.
Okay. What's her name?
Madeline. Madeline.
Madeline. Last name?
Soto. Soto.
Soto.
Yeah.
Is it just me? Am I projecting, or is everybody just a little too calm in that video? That's Madeline's mother and the live-in standing behind her like, what? Why is everybody so calm? Maddie is missing, and she has been missing for a considerable period of time when that happens. Now, hold on. I want you to think about what you just saw with the backdrop of new evidence we are learning, and that is that mommy's car went back and forth to where Maddie's body was dumped before it was discovered. Let that sink in. Mommy's car went back and forth between the home where little Maddie slept routinely with mommy's boyfriend alone to where her body was dumped. It's caught on surveillance video. Who was driving it? Don't know. But it was mommy's car. That I do know. Now, I want you to hear from the horse's mouth. Listen.
Is this like, does she like have any places that you guys know that she'll usually be at? Any friend's house? Any places that like she likes to hang out?
Typically, no.
Not typically?
No.
Okay. Just give me 1 second. Let me see if I get some.
Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, we don't have any idea where she might be. Joining me, an all-star panel to make sense of what we know right now. First, I want to go out to Shannon Butler, investigative reporter, WFTV 9, on this case from the beginning and giving me a lot of information I'm not getting from the outside looking in. Shannon, thank you for being with us. Shannon, in addition to disturbing descriptions and details we're getting about the crime scene, I'm floored about how often the suspect, which some people are describing as Maddie's stepdad, he's not her stepfather. Let's just be clear about that. How many times he would sleep in the bed with her, but that's a whole nother can of worms. I want to talk about the evidence regarding mommy's car going back and forth. Then we'll get to all of Sterns, the suspect, the murder suspect, all of his emails whining from behind bars about his food, his mattress, the walls in his cell. Really? Really? But first, let's talk about that car. What do we know about that vehicle? Listen.
Shocking new revelations in the Maddie Soto murder investigation. Investigators release information about Stephan Sterns in tracking the silver Lincoln he was driving. But now, detectives say they tracked another vehicle, a white Nissan owned by Maddie's mother, Jennifer, making an identical trip as was made in the Lincoln from the apartment to where Maddie's body was found. Detectives don't get a clean look at the driver, but the Nissan was driven from the apartment to the body in the middle of the night, 12 hours after Sterns was seen driving his Lincoln to the same area.
Okay, straight out to Shannon Butler joining us.
Did everyone, you guys all notice, because we didn't watch the body cam footage here. We watched a little bit of it on another tape, but they were extremely too calm. I mean, maybe I'm a crazy weirdo, but I feel like, well, okay. let me take it back, actually. When shit gets real and I need to be tough, I normally can be tough, but that's only when I have to be. And in this position right here with Jen Soto, if I was in Jen's position, I would have my significant other there. So I could be a ball and mess on the floor. And I absolutely would be a ball and mess on the floor. You wouldn't have been able to get a coherent word out of me unless you had me sedated. Like, and don't just give me the little bit of volume or whatever you give people. Give me, I need the whole elephant size dose.
Investigative reporter WFTV9 Shannon, what can you tell me about Mommy's car going to the location where Maddie's body is ultimately found?
Well, we don't know who the driver is, and that, of course, is one of the biggest questions we get right now is who's driving that car. The running theory is that it was Stephan Sterns that went back to the alleged scene of that crime. But there is so much speculation and doubt surrounding Madeline Soto's mother that it's hard for people not to question whether or not she was behind the wheel and went back down to that same location where Madeline Soto's body was. At that point, that body would have still been in that area because it was days later before they found her. So it's hard for us, because investigators didn't get a good look at the driver, to figure out who was behind the wheel. But there are a lot of questions. Could it have been Jen Soto?
Okay, Shannon Butler, you just said, Shannon joining us, WFTV9, you just said with so much suspicion swirling around Maddie's mother, we're talking about 13-year-old Madeline Soto, found dead. She had been sex assaulted. I was counting back the years, maybe at age 9. We're getting conflicting reports on that by Mommy's live-in. It's very difficult for me to believe Mommy had no idea what was going on under her own roof, even sending her daughter to bed with her live-in lover. Oh, excuse me. He alternated between the Soto home and his own mother. What was he, just living down in the basement there? Anyway, so much suspicion around the mom, as we are hearing from Shannon Butler. But the mom is not a suspect. The mom is not a person of interest at all. It's entirely possible the suspect, her boyfriend, was driving her car back to the scene. And, that's a really interesting question. To Tim Jansen joining us, high-profile criminal defense attorney, former federal prosecutor, and analyst for the Tallahassee Democrats newspaper, joining us from the Florida jurisdiction. Tim Jansen, why do criminals go back, circle back to the scene of the crime? I always think of Scott Peterson.
Because they're dumbasses, Nancy. We love them for it. The same reason why everybody uses their own phone or computer to Google search things.
How many times did he go back and look off into San Francisco Bay, where he dumped his wife, Lacey, and their unborn son, Connor? He's tracked. There was a GPS monitor on his car. Ding, ding.
That's the case I really remember, Nancy, in.
Figure that out. And they would track him going back and forth, where he would stand gazing out there, to see if her body had washed up yet. And we're seeing the same thing here. He goes back and forth to where Madeline's body is. Why?
Well, it's interesting. Brian Kohlberger did the same thing after the Idaho murders. He was there the next morning. They go either looking for their trophies, watching what they did, or they're trying to cover up and see if this crime has been disclosed. So the curiosity, the adrenaline they get, maybe trying to cover something they felt they forgot, or going back to see if the police have found their bad deeds.
I think it's the adrenaline, and they want to find out who's looking. Have I been discovered? Kohlberger's a very good example. And you know what else, Jansen? The returning to the scene, a good defense attorney like you will argue, well, that means nothing. Tell that to a jury. Okay, Jansen, go ahead and tell the jury it means nothing when a suspect goes back and forth to the scene of the crime and just stands there and stares. Well, to me, I'm not a shrink, but it means something to me. I'm getting off track. There's so much happening in the Madeline Soto case right now. I've got to get to all of it. But right now, remember, we're trying to determine who was driving mommy's car after Maddie goes missing and before her body is found, back and forth to where the body is ultimately found.
How about
Well, what they should have did, officers, investigators should have taken fingerprints inside of the car on the, the steering wheel, the mirrors, all the things, the gear shifter, all the things that you would touch, the seatbelt. And even though this was a few days later or whatever, they could have went back and seen if his fingerprints were in that car. If they weren't, if there was no sign of him in that vehicle at all, then maybe side-eye Jen a little bit, start side-eyeing her a little bit. But if there was like fingerprints of him or like, his fingerprints or like stuff like in the driver's seat, it would be more telling of, that he took the car. There is a way kind of that you could tell if he took the car or not.
did she have like Apple Watch?
She's got a device. The only device she's got on her right now is her school laptop.
Her school laptop, is that trackable?
And she don't have that.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it should be. It should be. If the Wi-Fi is turned on, it'll try to connect to the Wi-Fi.
Everybody's so calm. I'm not going to speculate on why they're so calm when Maddie is missing. Let me go to an expert with me, Robin Drake, behavior expert and former FBI special agent. Wait for it. He was the chief of FBI Counterintelligence Behavioral Analysis Program and author of Sizing People Up, a veteran FBI agent's manual for behavior prediction. And you can find him at peopleformula.com. Robin Drake, I told you about the time when I was looking for organic suntan lotion in a baby superstore. And I was like all down on the very bottom shelf, bent over double looking to try to find it. I turned around and there was Lucy, but no John David. I started screaming. I put her under my arm like a football and started running toward the front of the store because there were all glass windows, screaming, help me find my son, lock the doors, my son is lost. Okay, hey, but that's just me. So am I projecting or are these two calm as a cucumber?
No, you're absolutely right.
Now I'm going to say something about this. Nancy said, shut the whole store down. Her kid was in there. She couldn't find her kid, shut the store down. I've told you guys this story. I've told you 100 times probably by now. And if my parents could strike me dead, they would for telling it. But my parents left me up in a Rite Aid pharmacy one time back in the 80s. I think I was 3 or 4 years old. I was a baby. I don't blame them. I was probably getting on their nerves. I went into the pharmacy to pick up prescription or something for my mom or dad or something. I don't know. They were getting something there. And I was in the toy aisle and I was playing and I was just being so good. They just forgot their child. So, it does happen. That does happen.
Right. They are way too calm as a cucumber, as you say.
But my parents freaked out as soon as they found out that I was like not in the car with them. And it was right in the parking lot. They found out like as soon as they got in the car. So in case you haven't heard the story before, they found out like as soon as my parents got in the car, they were like, holy shit, we don't have our kid. And they ran back in. But they left me.
And the car and who's driving it, to me, is a smaller part of a whole in this entire case. I'm shocked that Madeline is the entire circle around her and that the mother hasn't been charged yet, because this, to me, every time we have a child that's been abused, and every time we have a child that looks like they may have been even part of something greater than just one single pedophile, I think there's a network involved here. And I think there's going to be a lot of tendrils that go out. And I think that's why the investigation has taken as long as it has. And there's as many witnesses going to be called, because I've been involved with cases.
Okay, wait a minute. Robin Drake, hold on just a moment. What do you mean you think a network is involved?
So every time you have a case like this, Nancy, where you have a potential sexual predator, if it's a serial sexual predator, which he's been doing this a number of years, says that he might be serial, you can have an upwards of 200 to 400 children that have been affected either through trafficking of their pornographic images or of them themselves. And so a lot of times these investigations take a long time to ferret out who's actually involved. And so every time you see a behavior arc of not just the individual of Sterns, but a network of entire family members potentially acting very nonchalant about this, it gives investigators a lot of leads on where to potentially look to see how far this network goes.
Friday, the Paris Olympics begin with the most
app. With Drop, you can take the journey with you.
America's #1 nicotine pairs well with you.
Those were found.
Boyfriend.
And that's kind of putting perfume on the pig, isn't it? Sexually abused. We're talking about dozens and dozens. I think, Shannon, how many sex-related videos and photos were found on Sterns' mommy's boyfriend's phone? How many? Ballpark.
Hundreds and hundreds. There were videos, there were pictures.
Okay. And I think it's actually in this new data dump we're getting, which of course you are the one that alerted us to that, Shannon Butler, and thank you. There are literally thousands, 1,700 explicit sex photos of Madeline, thousands on Sterns' phone. Where was a mommy when all this was happening? Why do we know it's Madeline that's the child victim on the phone? Because in charging documents and other data we have reviewed, the victim is described as a child and the incidents, the rapes, occurred in the home, Madeline's home. So who is that? It's a girl, it's a child, and it's in Maddie's home. And it's Sterns, who is charged now with 60 plus sex-related charges. So saying she was sex abused, that hardly describes what this child went through. Now, we also know that according to the documents, we've just gotten a huge data dump. The molestations, these videos on his phone, some reports are that they go back to 2019. There are other dates stated as well. 2019. She's 13 when she's murdered in 2024. This makes her 8 or 9 years old when these videos started being taken of her. So she's not just getting raped. She's not just getting potentially sodomized. He's videoing it. How many times do you use your husband's phone or, grab your child's phone? You don't see anything on there when there's...
That's what I said.
Nearly 2,000 of these videos.
There's never been a time that Jen Soto has picked up that phone and taken a picture. She would have had to know the passcode. If she didn't know the passcode to his phone, I think that's a little weird. It's a little weird when you don't... I guess you don't have to know the person that you're with passcode to their phone. But if they're hiding that from you, then side-eye them. Break into that phone immediately if you have children. If you don't have children, then just get out of the situation. But they hiding something. If they're if they keep that all like the, passwords to their phones protected. I was watching a video the other day and it was like this guy was reaching for this girl's like French fry or something. You know what I mean? I can't remember exactly what it was, but she thought he was going to grab for her phone. And her hand flies out and grabs her phone. It's just it's just one of those trust kind of tests. It's like, if you've been together for 7-8 years, then yeah, you're going to know each other's passwords.
And photos? Okay. That said, take a listen to this.
Stephan Sterns slept with Madeline Soto and her mother on a regular basis. Some nights, Stern would sleep with Madeline without her mother present, including the night before she was murdered. Jennifer Soto tells Maddie she has a really bad headache and tells Maddie to take Stephan Sterns and go sleep in an upstairs bedroom.
I got a headache too. In fact, it's spreading to my teeth now when I hear that. It wasn't just once in a while. It was all the time. And that's not all. Listen.
Stephan Sterns and Madeline Soto's mother, Jennifer, broke up briefly in late 2023. Even while they are broken up, Sterns would sleep at the Soto household in a bed with Madeline. A woman who dates Sterns during his breakup with Jennifer claims Sterns told her he had to sleep with Maddie, cuddle with her so she could go to sleep. The woman stopped talking to Sterns after he tells her of waking up with an erection while in the bed with the child.
Our friend.
This man, they don't give you, I mean, you're not born with, common sense. Because if you had a common sense piece of your brain would tell you to never say those things. If you're gonna do the act, you wouldn't say it though. Like, oh my Lord, Stephan Sterns, you're a terrible human being.
Nicole Parton from crimeonline.com really said that like she's reading the weather report or the farmer's almanac. Hold on just a moment. Shannon Butler joining me, WFTV 9. No offense, Nicole Parton, but what did I just hear? Did I just hear that even after Stephan Sterns, the murder suspect, had broken up with the mom, he broke up with her? Really? He would come back to the home.
He broke up with her. Well, did he break up with, is that what she's talking about? He broke up with Jennifer? Let's hear this out. I was thinking of the other girlfriend.
To sleep with little Maddie, to cuddle her, to get her to sleep. And then he tells the new girlfriend he would get erections in bed with Maddie. And it was so disgusting. The woman broke up with him. Did I just hear that?
You did.
You did.
You did hear it. And we had even asked, did that woman ever report that to police, to anybody? And she didn't,
And she didn't. You got your boyfriend saying that an underage girl is giving him an erection, amongst other things. I'm sure that's not the dirtiest, the worst that she heard. And you didn't think about maybe going to the police?
At the time, I think she was just trying to get away from him.
It doesn't matter if you're just at the time trying to get away from him. No, that's not an excuse, lady on the panel with Nancy Grace. You see something, you say something. There are plenty of numbers you can call and you can dial out to them. And you know what one's really easy? 911.
But these are the things that just continue to come up, and everybody in that, interview process seems like this is just normal, right? Well, she slept with him when she, needed to get to sleep. It was very, very strange for us hearing that about how this was just everyday business.
Okay. I really occasionally am speechless. And this is one of those moments because I'm thinking about the life that Maddie Soto endured. In the home, age 8 or 9, mommy's boyfriend starts raping her. There's not a nice way to say, he slept in bed with her. He cuddled her. They had sex. That is a lie. That's rape under the law. And we cannot turn away from the black and white letter of the law. A child that age cannot consent to any type of sex conduct, just like they can't go buy a car or liquor or cigarettes. They don't have the mental capacity to do that. Joining me, Dr. Jory Crossan, renowned psychologist, faculty, St. Leo University, consultant with the Blue Wall Institute. And you can find him at Dr. Jory, JOREY.com. Dr. Jory, does any woman really need a man that badly? Really? Just let me think about it. My sister used to have a t-shirt that said, a woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle. And that really stuck with me at about age 8. So what is a woman willing to do to keep a man?
Well, it goes to his ability to locate or find a woman and establish a relationship that has a child, okay? You see this in the pedophilia behavior numerous times. And one thing you want to look at is the age when this started and then how it ended with the homicide. They have preferred ages that they're attracted to and that they will maintain a relationship with. But once the child starts to age out through puberty or starting to develop, they'll usually start to look for another access to another child in their preferred age. That's a very common pedophilic behavior.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm trying to decipher what you're saying, Dr. Jory Crossan. You're the shrink. I'm just a JD. But I think you're saying certain pedophiles go look specifically to establish a relationship with a woman that has a child the age in which they're interested. Is that what you just said?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay, but I appreciate that, and it's a phenomenon I want to explore with you. But I'm asking you, how badly do you need a man? I mean, after all, no offense to you, but what can they do that you can't do? Why do you have to have him sleeping with your daughter under your own roof?
Yeah, let me address both of those. The man has that ability to, whatever it takes to provide to the woman to get access to the child, he's going to provide.
Provide what? This guy didn't even work. Did he work? Hold on, Shannon Butler, did this guy have a job, or did he basically hang out at his mom's basement in his spare time?
Yeah, that's pretty much what he did. He played a lot of games.
So what does he bring into the table? Nothing. Why does she need him? Back to my question.
If your man ain't got a job and he's able to have a job, and you guys are you're in financial dire right now, your man needs to get a job. Your man needs to be out there working. Now, Jen Soto, you should have had him out there working, honey.
What is wrong with these women that they keep child molesters?
Exactly, DM. I think that maybe she was going to get too old for him. There was going to come a day.
In the home.
Maybe she told him, I'm not keeping our secret anymore. After I'm 13, I'm telling.
I've seen hundreds of those cases, and even I've looked at the lethality of live-in boyfriends to children, and it's phenomenal. Because
they just don't have proof of him selling it yet, though. That's the only thing. It's not in any of those documents, is it? That he was selling it? Because I think if he was selling it, more people would be in custody right now. Right? If he was distributing it, which I don't know why he would have that many pictures on there and not be distributing it, but he hasn't been charged for distribution.
Others don't protect their children. I'm in Florida. This case is in Florida. I'm in a different judicial circuit, but we have regularly charged mothers with failure to protect.
You know what? That's exactly the charge. That's exactly the charge I'm thinking of, Dr. Jory Crossan. Failure to protect. Again, Maddie's mother has not been named a suspect, has not been named a person of interest. The reason we're even talking about her right now is because her car is spotted on video going back and forth to where Maddie's body, 13 years old, is found just dumped. Remember this. Remember, Maddie kept telling all of her friends when she turned 13, she wanted to leave home and go live in the woods? I wonder why. Listen.
Our missing persons detectives responded to take over the investigation. So they did interviews with mom's boyfriend, Madeline's friends from school. We were able to access Madeline's phone, and there is information on the phone that indicated that she told people when she turned 13, which was on February 22nd, she actually wanted to go live in the woods. So that was in her phone.
Investigators believe the female seen at 7:36 a.m. in the surveillance video in the front passenger seat of Stephan Sterns' vehicle is Madeline Soto's dead body propped up and buckled into the seat to appear as a living person. But closer inspection of the video shows her head leaning toward her shoulder with her mouth open. Sterns is caught on surveillance video again at 8:19 a.m. when he is seen entering the front security gate of the neighborhood with a female in the same position as the surveillance video captured at 7:36 a.m.
I don't want to gloss over that as we race toward the newest developments, including the suspect, mommy's boyfriend, whining behind bars about his mattress, his food, not having the right spoon, the walls in his cell. We also have emails that are emerging from his mom back and forth to him, knowing full well they're going to be read, about how somebody else, a she, is involved. More crime scene details that reveal the nature of this crime. But to Shannon Butler joining me, WFTV, I don't want to gloss over the fact that Madeline's dead body, this 13-year-old girl that has been being raped and sodomized since ages 8 or 9 under mommy's nose, her dead body is propped up and buckled into the car. Did I get that right, Shannon Butler?
Yeah, and that was part of his story, right? So he goes in and out of that apartment complex, which they did in the morning on the way to school. So that way, if any of the neighbors or anything saw him drive out, it wouldn't be unusual for Madeline to be buckled into the seat. What he said to us and to investigators is that she slept on the way to school. So he was working that, it appears, into his story about how he took her to school and she was asleep. But he did. I mean, according to investigators, buckled that seatbelt and let her sit there, leaned over. It's just unbelievable, really.
I mean, Tim Jansen, criminal defense attorney, he is actually tailoring a very intricate lie, stating that Maddie fell asleep on the way to school to cover up the fact that she's leaned over with her eyes closed because she's dead.
Yeah. Science, technology is going to undermine the cameras that were seen. Clearly, this guy is the evidence on the phone. He's a pedophile. He committed a sexual terrorism on this child. The mother certainly had to know something or see something. The apartment was very small, and to allow a child to sleep in the bed at that age is just, it seems more like Maddie was an annoyance to the mother than her actual daughter.
Guys, what more are we learning now? Well, for one thing, and I'm going to circle back to Dr. Eric Eason regarding the years of sex abuse, how that can be determined from an autopsy or if it can be determined. But to Shannon Butler, I want to talk about his whining emails from behind prison walls. He complains about everything from his mattress behind bars, not getting enough food. I have never felt a full stomach and have in fact forgotten what that is like. Really? There's never a time these days when I don't feel hungry. Have you heard of the vending machine? The cell is small and filthy. Well, how was your mom's basement? You could still be living there if you hadn't murdered Maddie. The mat is flat and has very little cushion left. I bet it was nothing compared to sleeping in the bed with Maddie. Those are a few things you can think about, Sterns, before you send any more emails. Shannon Butler, what is this guy saying from behind bars?
You know, that wasn't the first time, right? When he was being transferred between jails really early on.
Oh, yeah. Remember this in the car when he's like, can you turn it up 1 degree higher? Because that's how he talks.
He first started complaining about that first night that he spent in jail, that he had to use the toilet paper roll as his pillow. That was the beginning of his complaints. So we expected when we saw his emails that he would start complaining more about how the treatment is there and that how it's, you know, it's not so comfortable behind bars.
Okay, Robin Dreek, former FBI special agent, expert in behavioral analysis. Robin, as soon as we finish on air, I want you to run right down to the jail with an allergen-free puffy, bouncy pillow so he can get a good night's sleep. What? He can't sleep because of his pillow? He shouldn't be able to sleep because Maddie is dead. And he's whining about
Man,
his
Nancy's
pillow.
mad.
You know, this isn't the first time, Drake, that I've seen murder defendants and later convicted whine about their pillow, their food, their diet, their amount of exercise. He's charged with a murder, and in my mind, a lot fewer sex charges than are established. Because if I've got nearly 2,000 photos and videos, and most of them of this little girl on his phone, he needs to be charged with every single one of them. And when he's convicted, they all need to run consecutively. There. And he's talking about his pillow, Drake.
Yeah. And I also don't think it's going to be the only person they'd find he's done this to. You don't go from 0 to 100 in this kind of case because he's going to have a track record established of this. He's got a lifetime pattern of self-centeredness and me. All his primal urges and despicable behaviors have obviously been placated for such a long time that he's got a level of expectation that the world will continue to service him, and it just leaks out of him at every single turn. And so that's what we're seeing in the jailhouse. That's what we're seeing in all these communications. He's completely shocked that it doesn't happen.
What about this? Do you see a pattern of behavior of getting taken care of and whining and expecting everything to be handed to you? I mean, he's still technically, even though he's living with Madeline Soto's mother in their apartment, which a lot of people thought this was a home. It's an apartment, which makes it much smaller. My point is, how could she not know what was happening? He's living with her and he's living with his mother. He's not working. What is he doing? Everyone is giving him a place to stay, food to eat. I don't know how he made his car payment. Maybe mommy made the payment for him. But now, same thing, same behavior carrying over behind
that piece
bars.
of shit was paid
Whine.
It was paid off. I'm sure that car was paid off.
You hit it exactly right, Nancy. It is his lifetime behavior pattern, behavior arc of complete self-centeredness and narcissism. And it plays out in everything. And even with his girlfriend that he had dated briefly, he's testing that water by saying, hey, I slept and had an erection with this little girl. You know, I think that's a test to say, hey, can I manipulate you into my circle because she's aging out? I mean, it's a lot of conjecture on my part, I know. But at the same time, though, this is what he does to his entire environment. He manipulates it for his own gain, and he's got such lifetime reps at it. He looks completely fluid and natural doing it because this isn't his first time in life or is his first rodeo doing this.
Friday.
Earn while you shop with Drake. Come with home ownership.
With the options. Meet Zen, which means Zen.
On a child that lives in
case.
Is that a surprise? With 2,000 explicit videos, the majority, we understand, of Stephan Sterns performing sex acts on a child that lives in Maddie Soto's home. Is anybody surprised that Florida is seeking the death penalty? I'm not. But to Dr. Eric Eason is a renowned board-certified forensic pathologist, a consultant. Dr. Eason, we know that her body was discarded out in the open, but in an obscure area, which is not hard to find in Florida. There's a lot of untamed land, swamps, inlets in Florida. How can a medical examiner tell if this was the first time Madeline had been raped or not? And with her body lying out in the elements for several days, would that preclude such a determination?
Well, that's going to make it tough. If the body's been there for a couple of days and in the heat in Florida, you're going to have the evidence of decomposition, which is going to obscure some of the findings that you're going to have at autopsy. But, during the autopsy, we're going to determine the cause of death, but also assess for evidence of sexual assault. And so evidence of the acute sexual assault would occur when the swabs are placed in the various orifices to check for DNA that's there and to compare from DNA from the suspect.
Please do not say that, Dr. Eason. We don't all have medical degrees like you do. When you say they're going to swab Maddie's orifices. You are talking about, euphemistically describing her mouth, her vagina, and her anus to see if she was raped. Hold on. Shannon Butler, WFTV, how long do we think that Maddie was lying out in the elements before her body was found? How many days?
I think it was 5 days.
Okay. I thought it was 4, but let's go with 5. Dr. Eason, how would 5 days out in the elements affect the determination of internal orifices such as vagina or anus?
I mean, you can still insert the swabs and collect any evidence as time goes on further. It's going to be have less of an ability to collect that. But I think you're also asking about remote sexual assault, and that's going to be very tough to determine after 5 days out in the elements like this.
Can I just boil it down, Dr. Eason? In a rape kit, I know that if there is vaginal tearing, if there is bleeding inside the vagina or the anus, that may suggest a recent rape.
That's right.
How would you be able to tell if her body had been found immediately whether she had been raped in the past?
Well, you can look for evidence of old bruising or old abrasions. When bruises start to age, the color will change. And so if you find evidence of a yellow in a bruise, it indicates the bruise is older as compared to an acute bruise. So you can check for that. That's definitely one way to check for like an older type sexual assault.
So we may not be able to tell from her body that she had endured molestation for years if it weren't for this idiot's phone that reveals these thousands of photos. To Shannon Butler, WFTV9, I want you to listen to this. Emails between the murder suspect and his mother, in which she suggests someone else, a female, is involved. Listen.
Sterns' mother is saying things like, quote, "We all know blank was heavily involved in this, and I am disgusted that she's free and you are not, when this is not all your fault. You need to think about yourself more and her less. She sure isn't thinking of you and how she can help you right now. That whole family is willing to stay quiet and let you take the fall for everything."
Shannon Butler, WFTV9. What?
Well, I think that we expected some of this from his family members, that they would start putting some of the eyes back on Jen Soto. What we didn't know is if he had told them something that we didn't know yet about if she was involved or if she wasn't involved, or if they're just doing this as the show, right? Everybody knows these things become public and that everybody would be able to see what they were saying. But this was not a surprise to any of us who have been working this story, that the family would start to raise some questions about Jen Soto and if he was taking the fall for her.
While the search for Madeline Soto is ongoing, investigators ask if they can take a look at Stephan Sterns' phone. Sterns then informs the detectives he accidentally performed a factory reset on the phone the same day Maddie went missing. A factory reset can't be done on accident, has to be deliberate, as it requires multiple steps by the user to ensure that it doesn't happen by accident. Thousands of images, sexual photos, and videos, mostly of Madeline, were recovered and led to the 60 additional charges against Stephan Sterns.
Over 60 charges, but over 1,900 explicit videos and photos. I want to find out something else. Shannon Butler, investigative reporter, WFTV9. This is an apartment, not a home, as many people thought. So how big is the apartment? I'm trying to gauge what was going on and what the mom should have known. Do you know?
Well, it's not very big. It's kind of like a townhouse. So there's an upstairs and a downstairs. But there were other people, like the night of her disappearance or murder, there were other people in the home, but there was bedrooms upstairs, but there was also some kind of makeshift kind of bedroom that was kind of cordoned off downstairs. And there was a lot of question about if that's where, Madeline was sometimes laying So the home is very small. If you're talking about what could you hear or not hear in some kind of house, it is fairly small. I mean, it's an average townhome.
You know, I want to ask you something else before we sign off. It's my understanding that Maddie's friends tell police that Maddie was constantly being texted and called by Stephan Sterns, the boyfriend. Back to Robin Dreek. That's textbook. It's classic. I trust my children, but when I see them on the phone all the time, or they're on a video all the time, I go, who are you talking to? Who's that? Don't you think it's odd? Nobody wondered why the boyfriend was constantly calling this little girl and texting her?
Yeah, constantly isolating her, controlling her environment. It's what these horrible sexual predators do. And that's exactly what he was doing, Maddie, the entire time. You know, and as for the mother making those comments via text too, or in an email, I don't care what it is, you know, as an investigator, I'll put my investigator hat on for a second. If you're opening your mouth like that, I'm now looking at you too. So I think this is a network of really abhorrent behavior by a lot of people, and he just happens to be the point of the spear we're going to take down first. And I think we're going to save a lot of people in this one, I'm hoping.
Dr. Jory Crossan, renowned psychologist, joining us, faculty, St. Leo University. Another thing is, I noticed that Stephan Sterns states that he was the one who would comfort little Maddie when she would get into an argument with her mom. Okay, there you go. Coming between the child.
I had a feeling she was going to do that, like cut us off halfway through or like at the end. I don't know why she does that, but she does sometimes. I think it's because like she does a 4-minute video, but it usually is like in the middle anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But let me go over there and we'll check it out real quick and see if that's what it is. So I was always wondering why she cuts some of her podcast off like that. Nancy Grace. I couldn't find her for a minute there. Let's see. Yeah, see, I think this is like
6 a.m. and the surveillance video in the front passenger seat of Stephan Sterns' vehicle is Madeline Soto's dead body propped up and buckled into the seat to appear as a living person. But closer inspection of the video shows her head leaning toward her shoulder with her mouth open. Sterns is caught on surveillance video again at 8:19 a.m. when he is seen entering the front security gate of the neighborhood with a female in the same position as the surveillance video captured at 7:36 a.m.
I don't want to gloss over that as we race toward the newest developments, including the suspect, Mommy's boyfriend, whining behind bars about his mattress, his food, not having the right spoon, the walls in his cell. We also have emails that are emerging from his mom back and forth to him, knowing full well they're going to be read, about how somebody else, a she, is involved. More.
Okay, yeah, they're just going over what we had already went over. So, but let me see. Okay, but I think that's all I have for you guys for tonight. Let me just double check my tabs up here. But I think that is all that I have for you all. Let's see if there's anything. I don't know if you guys have been following the case of Alexa Stackley, the woman that was her car was in Columbus. Her car was being stolen. This has happened. This is the second time this has happened on my channel. We've talked about these things. And she jumped on her vehicle. Like she was outside of it. She jumped on it because her son was in the car. The person driving the car flung her off the front of the car, causing her to receive head damage. And she ended up succumbing to her injuries. Beautiful girl, very young. Just as tragic, the two suspects that they have in custody now, right now, they just they got it earlier today. They had a juvenile they collected up, and then another juvenile. So juveniles. And then with the political things that are happening at home and the defacing of property and the burning of flags, to those people that do that, I hope you all rot in hell. I do. That's all I gotta say about that. Because I've been on Twitter today. Don't go on Twitter if you are sensitive. Oh, wait. There's a third person now they have. A third juvenile. And he's 19. So he's not a juvenile. Wow. The third and final suspect, they said. Yeah, because there's the three of them right there. Wow. 19-year-old and two 16-year-olds charged with a murder. All because they wanted her vehicle. And her vehicle had her kid in it. That's all she wanted was her child. She didn't care about the car. So senseless. Yeah, where did Mary Beth go? So I was staying on for her for a minute. She needs to leave his ass. Really. Really. We need to get her out of there. And if she's not out of there by the end of the week, then she just needs to be out of there. I mean, I know we can't force people, but it's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's just too much. It's too much for anyone to, have to live like that. I wonder if this is going to get, I don't know why the story would get bigger now, but it seems like a lot of people are talking about it. I wanted to see if there's anything else. Oh, what's this? They're replacing the flags. That's sad to see. What? Oh my Lord, look at this, guys. This is not even, I don't even know if I show you that. This is sad, but this is sweet, but this is sad. If you like Solo, you might want to look away. This is a beautiful thing though, but it's a baby. I just know because you've lost a child. They said there's a baby in the trash can. I'm going to show you this, but the baby's alive. I just know that some of the people in our chat have lost kids, and I don't want them to think I don't want you guys to see that they trigger something, even though it's a baby. But look at this. This baby was found alive in a dumpster. Look at that baby.
Como varoncito se ve, ¿verdad?
Oh my Lord. Who would do that? What is wrong with people? What is wrong with people? That makes me want to cry. Squeaky, you could be right. I can't believe, man. Can you believe that? They found that baby. Do you remember the baby they found? They cut it out of the plastic. I don't ever remember what happened to that baby. It was in Texas or something. Yeah, I'm so glad they found that baby. I was cruising on the. Ooh. I knew that was going to be cute. I was just going to see what's going. Look at this dog. Maybe I went through all of the bad stuff on Twitter today. Now it's all going to be funny stuff. Look at that dog just floating. That's cute. Do we need to call someone? No, Ladybug, you're fine. Yeah, the baby was saved. I'm just going to keep it on the dog picture. The dog picture is fun. Oh, I don't want to watch that girl spraying gauze on there again. I don't know if I was going to tell her not to do it. Don't do it. Okay, no, I'm cool with that. And this is all the bad stuff that we've seen all over the place today. Don't know who those people are. Oh, Mike the Miller's family. Guess I have a lot. I have some random stuff on here, don't I? On my For You page. We got some Trump. Someone, oh, I thought it was found safe. Okay, yeah, there's nothing really. I thought maybe there might be something on here that we didn't know about. But this is the girl I was telling you about, Alexa. So sad. It's so sad. Yeah. Auto, let me know what you guys figure out. And I think it'd be easier for him to get out because they have kids together. Yeah, DM. I know it's like, what do you do? I'm gonna ask my sister-in-law about that. My sister-in-law is a domestic violence advocate. She's a case manager, actually. I mean, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Sometimes you need them. I mean, I've used her. She don't have to leave her pups. All the kids aren't there. Oh. Well, I can understand, but I don't know. I'm trying to think of like, do you stay for the dogs or do you stay for yourself to live? You know? Her pups are why she stays home. Man, I could understand that. If Vincent, it's not with me and Vincent, I'd be like, where the hell am I taking my two big dogs? Because, they come with me, of course. They're sitting behind me right now. Yeah, it is Carolina. It is it's, man. Mary Beth, you were here, now you're not here. Now it's making me nervous. But I'm going to jump off here. I'm just like, Yeah. You know that song, Reba McEntire sang it? That song, y'all know it. Y'all know it. I know the words. I can't think of the song name though. Let me sing it in my head real quick. It's that song, Is There Life Out There? That song. You know how she's saying, like, is there life out there? So much she hasn't done. Is there life beyond your family and your home? She's done what she should. Should she do what she has or something like that? You know what I'm talking about? When I heard that song as a teenager, and I'm gonna tell you, my mama, I never got to tell my mama this, but I used to think of my mom because she always sacrificed so much for us and my father. I mean, for all of us. So I was wondering, did she get to live her life? But that song, every time that's what I think of. I forget what it's exactly called, but like is like something about is there more to life out there or something like that. If you guys heard it, you would know exactly what it was. You'd be like, oh yeah. Yeah, you get board them somewhere. And you can even go on like Rover. Rover's not too expensive. It's not too bad. We've actually boarded our dogs for like a week for I don't think it wasn't too much. It wasn't, too crazy. I love Reba too. She's a gem. I do. I love Reba. I used to listen to Reba when I was a little girl. That whole tape and CD. Well, we had the tape. We didn't have the CD version of that back then. We had the tape, but it was the popular. It was what's popular. That was one. Plus, I was like, and then I was like 12 singing those songs. Like I knew what I was listening to. But yeah, I'm gonna have to put that song out there. That's what I need to do, fandom. I need to get my dog some Apple AirTags. They never run from me, but you never know when you're going to lose your dog, You never know. Which I don't think I could lose Mia even if I tried. She follows me everywhere. But maybe Araya. Nah, Araya does too. You should see them. They're sleeping so good right now. But I guess I'll jump off here. Just still waiting on Mary Beth. Making me a little nervous, Mary Beth. I'm like wondering if she has like an AirPod in where she can hear us. But what if he's like, what if he's watching? Okay, DM, keep me updated. I'm so glad that there are chats like this one. We have the best. I'm not saying that, y'all. Like, I mean, I know everyone will say, well, of course Heidi said that's her chat. No, you guys truly, genuinely care about each other. I'm just here as the host. I know you guys all like me too, but you guys care about each other. You care about each other. Like Ashley was willing. I don't even know who that was. One day it might have been Mary Beth even. It was somebody that needed some help. And Ashley was like, I'll get in the car. Just tell me where I got to drive to. And it was states away. I mean, you guys have no qualms in helping people, and I love that. And I don't see it in any other chat. Not like this one. Not like this chat. I mean, it's every single person. Except for Squeaky, I mean, we can't get rid of that guy. Just kidding, Squeaky, wherever you are. But no, everyone's so nice to everyone. And I really appreciate it. I know you do, Ashley. I know you guys are all each other's peoples. Okay, DM. Let her know that we're waiting on her. And oh yeah, if you ever want to put your emails in the chat too, just don't put the .com at the end. Just put, or the @ sign maybe. Just put the email and then put like spell out like AT Google or whatever. I was trying to think of how we could do that because that always Nightbot block Cheryl. Poor Cheryl. Do you know what town in Utah she lives in? I forget. I know it's by near Salt Lake City, I think. It really is, Catherine. This is a really good group of people. Like, there's not one person that's subscribed to me right now, like, where I'm like, oh, that person subscribed to me. Like, you know what I mean? There's no one like that. Like, everyone's just so kind in here. Yeah, of course. Good night, DM. Let me see if I can make sure I've got. Yeah, for some reason, maybe I thought you might have to email me, Aldo. I don't know why I don't have. I bet. Wait. This is. Wait, right here. DM Aldo. Okay. Copy. I don't know who I'm writing. Wait. I don't know if I did that right. I tried to forward the email to you. If not, I'll do it again. Yeah, keep us updated. I think I did, Aldo. I think I had it in there somehow. Like I think I transferred it or maybe switched it over. Like forwarded it. Usually I can just look it up by your names. Hey, Miss Downey. And thank you guys all for being here tonight. You guys are so nice to each other. You can't drive long distances anymore. Me either, really, Linda. When I have to go to Columbus, and go to like my doctor's, it's just I hate it. Gives me such anxiety. I hate having to go up there because traffic and stuff. But thank you guys for being here. I will probably pop on tomorrow during the day to see what's going on with everybody. Make sure everybody's okay. Yeah, that's what. And I was going to. I need to do a Discord for you guys, even if we do it just like where other than auto, maybe we could do it a month, like the password, because it would have to be like a private Discord where I couldn't be the one like over like seeing it every day. Do you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be able to be in there like babysitting comments or anything. But I think that you guys would all be fine. I think that you guys would all be fine with a Discord, and we will be thinking about her tonight. Thank you, Joanne, for the $5 super sticker. That means so much. Thank you. How tall am I, Phantom? I am 5'8". 5'8", yeah. How to think about that for a minute. No, Queen of Hearts, that's me too. I am the worst. I have I don't even for my business 23,000 and for YouTube 14,000. I need to get in this. I sign up for stupid stuff. Do you ever do that? I do it. I do it all the time. Oh yeah, you do have her address. I have her address. Wait a minute. I forgot what I do. I forgot she shops at my store. I mean, yeah, if you need it or anything, DM, let me know and I'll send it to you. I'll be the bad one. I'll say I did it. Oh my Lord, I have 159,000, man. Yeah, because I just hope she's okay. You got a new dog, Carolina? Did you get a dog? I love dogs. I didn't know you got a dog. Oh, I saw it now. It was a rescue. Police confiscated him. We named him Lawless. I love dogs, all animals, but dogs are my favorite. He's coming home tomorrow. Oh, I bet you're so happy. I bet you're so excited. Oh my gosh, that's so much fun. Oh, that's fun. I would very much so love another dog, but mine are just way too much. They just need my love. You know what I mean? There she is. Mary Beth. You scared me. We've been sitting on here for an extra 15 minutes wondering where Mary Beth went. We love you. We love you, Mary Beth. We really do. We really, 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 really do. These people are really, 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 really your family and your friends. Like, y'all are amazing. You really are. So now I'm going to say it. I am going to get off of here. I kept saying that, and then I'm just like, oh, am I? But am I getting off of here? No, I knew that she'd be back. So are you okay, Mary Beth? She's probably like, I just had to go to the bathroom. And we're all over here freaking out on her. But I did do that before once on Isabel. I was like, where's Isabel? And it was literally 2 minutes that she wasn't in the chat. Like, and I was like, oh, man. Back whenever I needed my Isabel all the time, she left me. No, she's sleeping. You have permission now. Yeah, now I'm like, okay. Yes. Remember that song Goodbye Earl by the Dixie Chicks? You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? All right. Well, thank you guys for being here tonight. Never a dull moment. I love you guys. Be careful out there. Mary Beth, kick the living shit out of him. If he talks to you in any sort of way, what's he going to do? Other than, you know, he's not going to do shit. I bet if you stuff yourself, you probably wouldn't do shit. But don't be too ballsy yet. I got to work you up to that. Got to work you up to that. My mom, like my poor mom, she she could never like say mean stuff. Like she just couldn't. But her sister needed to be put in check one time. And I was like telling my mom what to say. And it was so exciting. So exciting. But thank you guys for being here. Go back and listen into the chat, Mary Beth. We were worried about you. We want to make sure you're okay. But I love you guys. Have a good evening. Don't worry. Tomorrow we're on the other side of that workday hump. 2 more days, then we're done. You guys have a great night, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.